Bright House Networks present the Bright House Networks High School Football Game of the Week.
Well, a very good evening, Kern County, and welcome back. This is Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week. We are in week 2 of the CIF playoffs. A beautiful November evening, the Friday before Thanksgiving. We're out at Frontier High School, and the Edison Tigers are taking the field in all white. And the Titans of Frontier are in all blue. Two very, very good football teams going at it tonight. We firmly believe this is absolutely the best game in the city tonight. It's the 8-2 Tigers coming into town. And, Brian, this is an Edison team that is ready to prove that they are not the level of seed that they've been put at. We've always known Edison to be very, very tough. My name is Vance Palm. Let's bring in my partner, Brian Adams from BHS and UCLA. He's got a Bruin down there as head coach tonight. A lot of storylines. Let's bring in Brian Adams. B?
Well, Vance, you're definitely right. You know, last time we seen Edison, Vance, they were winning a section title against these Frontier Titans. That was under Coach Tim McDonald. Now you have Ricky Manning Jr., a UCLA football alum and former professional football player, coaching his alma mater, the Edison Tigers, and they start off a little shaky, Vance, but they got everything going at the right time. They finished strong, tied first in the league this year, and we'll see what they do tonight. But like I said, they want to come down and prove that they're a better seed than 6. But like anything and any time, something can happen in playoffs, Vance, and Edison wants to be right here and be on the prowl versus these Titans.
All right, so welcome, everybody. Week 2 of the high school playoffs 2012. Edison in town at Frontier. Stands are filling up on both sides. Edison kicks off. It's going to be a burner off the grass, and it bobbled and gets picked up at about the 14-yard line. Frontier looking for some gaps, and it's going to be taken down at about the 24-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Frontier High School. Again, this is Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week. Week 2.
And you talk about ties. That tackle right there was made by sophomore Christopher Allison, and that's the son of James Allison, the former BHS running back football great.
Wow, I met James for the first time tonight. I've known that name for a long, long time and finally got a chance to meet him. It's a pleasure. Here we go. Frontier, we know pretty well. They break out of the huddle. Evan Moore, a quarterback that a lot of people have their eyeballs on, only a junior, engineered a big, big win over the Drillers last month. Here's a handoff, and it goes to Justin Cash. Cash out to the left side, not a lot.
Well, Vance, the one thing we've seen with Frontier, we saw them do it against Ridgeview, we saw them do it against BHS. They don't always come out right away beating you down the field, but they kind of wear on you. They use those big linemen, Vance, to just over time wear you down, and we saw they were very dominant in fourth quarter against Ridgeview and fourth quarter against the Drillers. Can the Edison Tigers stand up to this big physical line?
Second and 9. Caleb Thompson in the backfield with Moore. Shotgun. And it's Moore on a keeper. Keeper gets wrapped up, no gain. That'll bring up 3rd and long. We're just underway. Welcome, everybody. Vance Palm alongside Brian Adams. Edison in all white, a perennial powerhouse up in the Fresno area. Frontier, a perennial powerhouse here in Kern County. 3rd and 10, actually lost a yard on that play. Now the Frontier stands really starting to fill up. Looking good over there. We are way out in the northwest. Moore takes the snap. They stay on the ground again. And nothing doing here. This Edison defense very stingy in their first series. And the Frontier Titans are going to have to punt the football. Good job from Edison.
Well, Vance, good start right there for the Edison Tigers. 3 and out, you're forcing a punt and going to get into your athleticism. You know, you got to be careful. They're very dangerous when they're out in space. As DeAndre Howard, the senior, is back, set to receive the punt.
Howard stands at his own 44. Whistles blow before the snap even takes place. Let's see what this call is. We already have our first penalty. Illegal substitution makes it 4th and 1. Wonder what will happen here. Wonder if that changes the decision at all. 4th and 1. An illegal substitution on Edison. Maybe a hard count now. Maybe Coach Lewis, Coach Cohenford say, all right, let's at least try one shot at a hard count, see if they jump. They do, and they get it. First down, Frontier.
You know, Vance, and that's a situation you have great defense by your great play by your defense. You get 3 and out, you force a punt, and then you give up, Vance, 10 yards in penalties because you're not disciplined. A substitution infraction, and then here you go. Linemen, it's just like receivers. You should never go off sides because you go when the ball moves.
Got him a first down without ever taking a snap. 1st and 10, 9.5 here in the first quarter. Now Frontier, a little bit more life. They run into a tough front line, though, from Edison. So, and another attempt on the ground. Frontier without some of their key players. Had some issues on campus. Don't have some of those big names with them.
Yeah, you know, and unfortunately, Vance, you know, they made a bad decision, and they're paying the price, but also hurting the team. But we just hope that those kids can get their life on track, and it's just a little bump in the road and not a wall that ends up eroding their life.
2nd and 10. Moore's going to bootleg. Goes to the left, throws to the left. What a nice play. Big hit out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. So a nice play, nice pitch and catch there. Very close to a first down.
You know,
and they get it.
Now's a great route by Jasmine Thine. I watched them in the warm-up. They really worked on that out route, driving them off and coming hard back to the sideline. And, you know, great throw right there by the quarterback, able to pull up because the end forced him to stop. Was able to get enough on it for a completion. Good job right there.
Moore was under pressure. He had to get rid of that very quickly, as Brian said, on the run across the body. Now they stay on the ground. Hey, oh! Big hit at the 43-yard line. Goodness gracious.
Well, there's one thing that's evident we've seen so far by Edison Tigers. They can hit.
Wow. Adam Hike had that hit.
You know, Vance, right now, you're going to keep them off balance. They hit them real quick with a run. You're going to see a hit right at the end and just right through right there. That's number 24.
My correction, that was Justin Cash on the carry. And here comes Caleb Thompson. Take the snap directly. He lost his footing, so sorry to interrupt.
That was more. That was more, Vance. And that didn't go very far right there, Vance, as number 14. Jamel Muhammad. Vance, has been a UCLA reunion. You know, a guy on the Frontier staff's a Bruin, Mike Lewis, and then Brandon Brazil and Coach Ricky Manning are Bruin. So we're in the football family. He's in the baseball, but we're all one Bruin family.
Nice stop up front by this Edison Tiger defense on a 3rd and 3. And the coaching staff for Edison absolutely fired up right now. A lot of Bruin vibes, and we'll talk about the big game tomorrow a little bit later on in the evening. Right now, 1st and 10, Frontier picked it up. They picked up the first down. 7-11 left here in this first quarter. Moore, shotgun. Another hard count. Nobody goes this time. Handoff right up the middle. battle up front. If you remember from that BHS win that they had, the front line for Frontier, very, very big, very physical. You see them right there in your camera shot, and they're going up against a big, strong defensive line. So, shall we say, this will be the proverbial win in the trenches?
Oh, I definitely think so, because that's what Frontier wants to do, Vance. Mix you up, keep you off balance with the passing game. They really want to run the ball on you, use the line to dominate you.
2nd and 6. Play action. Pass a man open. Look at this. It's Hike. Looking for the end zone. Gets it. Touchdown. Adam Hauk. Touchdown.
And Vance, right there, they got the Edison Tigers out of position and took advantage of it.
Excellent play call by your Bruin.
Yeah, he's a hit. Now, one thing about this coaching staff, Vance, one of my favorite. I think they're one of the better coaching staffs in town. That's not a slight to anybody else out there, because there's some real good staffs. But, they've been successful everywhere they've been. And just the way their cohesion, the way they work together year in, year out. Doesn't matter what kind of kids they have there. Kids who are more talented or less talented, they seem to put a good product on the field. And when they do have some talent, Vance, they've maximized it. And right there, that's Coach Lewis maximizing his offensive talent and getting them off balance. How? And you'll see right here, you're going to see Halk right there on the end, Vance, as a tight end. He's going to get a free release. There's nobody there. See, the blitz comes here. He's wide open. Nobody hit him. And he's going to just get to the end zone, clear sailing, as he goes in, untouched, Vance, for the first points of the night. Now, how big were those penalties on Edison? Instead of, Vance, having the ball, your first possession in offense, they just ran off 6 minutes and scored 6 points on you.
It was 4th and 6. Here's another look from the ground level of Hauk's touchdown catch. It was 4th and 6, and Edison gets called for an illegal substitution. Makes it 4th and 1. Frontier hard counts. Gets him to jump, makes it 1st and 10, and they score about 4 or 5 plays later. So you're right, Brian. Key mistake by the Edison defense. 7-0 Frontier. Sideways kick, wobbly kick, goes into the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10. We'll get to see this Edison offense. If you're just getting to us, you're watching High School Football Game of the Week on Bright House Networks. I'm Vance Palm. I've got Brian Adams with me. 7-0 Frontier. They're up top first. Here's a good look at the coaching staff.
Vance, one thing about Edison, we're going to see what they do offensively. But I know they're athletic. And so they're going to have some playmakers. So can those playmakers put pressure on the Frontier defense?
Kari McGee is the quarterback. McGee, number 19 in the shotgun, takes the snap. It's a zone read handoff, and it's given to Marquise Sutton. Sutton with the carry. What a start for this Frontier offense. They were stymied in their first few plays. Got it to a 4th and 6, and 2 penalties later, they're 1st and 10, and they get in on a really nice play call on a pass from Moore to Hauk. And here's a 2nd and 8 from the Tigers from their first series. McGee, the quarterback. Sutton dances behind him for a moment. Gets to his right side. They hand it to Sutton again.
No, he keeps it.
Oh, what a great play by McGee. Faked me out, and so did Sutton. Really nice move by McGee, and he got everybody to bite, including yours truly.
Vance, and McGee just runs real smooth. Just puts it in that belly, does a good job of going with the bat, pulls it out, has it nice and tight, and he goes off the sideline and picks up a 1st down easily.
Man, he looked so much like he handed that football off. Wow. McGee and Sutton, the 2 backs. Get used to those names tonight. 1st and 10, 5.5 left. They send Runderson in motion. They go out to the wing here, and it's Howard. Howard, one good move, two good moves, and gets down about the 47, 48-yard line. Nice catch out there by DeAndre Howard.
You know, Howard did a great job of securing the catch, didn't go on his knee, stayed up here to make a play. But Vance, I also like McGee ran the ball quick. He saw the pressure come off the outside to his left, fired it off, and let Howard go to work. And great blocking, too, by the receivers out front, Vance, giving him the alley to run through.
Brian likes it. McGee first and 10. Sutton now to his left, has a strong right side. Looking to pass. McGee throws it out here, and oh my goodness, the defender from Frontier was standing there. I think he was just waiting for the ball to get to him, and that was Troy Banks.
You're right on the mark, Vance. That's exactly what he was doing. He thought he had an interception. He never really saw the receiver coming across the field, and that is number 3, Isaiah Runderson. And you can see right here, Vance, quarterback's looking over there, and you're going to watch. The defensive back, Banks, thinks he's going to get an interception, but the receiver, is it Roberson or Robertson?
Runderson.
It's hard to read, Vance, on his program. Runderson did a great job of catching the ball with his hands. And, you know, those are Brandon Brazell, the former UCLA wide receiver, is coaching them, so he definitely has those kids catching the ball with their hands. I was watching them in the warm-ups.
Sutton maybe gets a yard, 34, 35-yard line. So this Edison team now showing their poise and their talent and their on-field offensive presence. This is going to be a nice football game, B.
Yeah, Vance, I think we're set up for a good one. I think we're set up one that can go down to the wire. You know, maybe one of those ones, the last team that has it. But so far, you know, both teams have done a good job of keeping the other team off balance.
Khari McGee, Khari is how you spell his first name. Inside handoff. Nice job by this Frontier defense.
There's a flag right there, so it'll be interesting to see what this call is.
Tyrone Viney is the running back they handed off to right there on your screen, number 10. And Viney, if you're asking, is 5'8", 145 pounds, not your biggest guy. And he gets brought down with one forearm. Let's see who this penalty's against. I haven't seen the call yet.
Personal foul. Offense.
A penalty on Edison.
You know, so far right now, it's just been big penalties, Vance, for Edison, kind of shooting themselves in the foot early.
3:51 left here in the first quarter. We're at Frontier High School. Really nice football game shaping up. We can say that early as both teams look good on offense and defense, but Frontier snuck a touchdown in. I say snuck it in because they were dead on a 4th and 6, and they were punting, and two penalties later, they had a 1st and 10, and they get a nice touchdown out of it. Now here comes Edison. McGee drops back in the shotgun on a 2nd and 19. He floats one out long. It's way out there, and it is, if it's caught.
They said incomplete,
They
man.
say incomplete,
I think
out
they're
of
going to say
bounds.
he landed out of bounds when he caught it, but, man, what a throw and what an effort. Well, Howard is showing some athleticism. I mean, look at this throw, Vance. And they're going to see him lay out. Oh, yeah, just outside the line. Great camera work. Great job, Bright House crew.
Who's
And
down
just
on that
barely
camera down
off.
there?
There's a flag down now.
Bernard Johnson, our senior director.
Personal foul. Whipping the passer.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on Frontier, automatic first down for Edison. So we seesaw back and forth. I wonder if we can get one more look at that great angle from Bernie. He just laid out. Howard sold out for this catch.
Well, Vance, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. The Frontier defensive backs are going to have to really be on their P's and Q's because these receivers for Edison can run. I mean, that's a 5-yard, 6-yard separation and great layout right there just around the room. But, Vance, I think we're going to see some plays tonight, partner.
McGee kicks one now. Oh, and he loses his footing. And it would have been Isaiah Runderson. Runderson loses his footing out here in the near flats. So that'll bring up second and maybe about 13 or 14. Tough call because he lost yardage on a completion. Second and 14 officially. McGee has Sutton on his left side. Big offensive line. There's some big fellas up there. McGee keeps it, throws it out to Runderson. Runderson makes a good move and gets probably a first down or very, very close to it.
But I'm going to tell you, what I'm really impressed with are the Edison Tiger receivers blocking for each other, Vance. They really get into the defensive backs and lock up and keep these corners from making plays.
So quick little pass out to Runderson. He makes a nifty move and picks up a first down. 2.5 left here in the first, and the clock's moving pretty briskly right now. McGee just as calm and cool as the other side of the pillow. He has Sutton to his left. And he's going to keep it. Great fake. Now the quarterback, McGee, looks to get to the outside, and he finally gets shoved out, but not until he gets another first down. So this zone read offense, he hangs on to it as long as he can. He's taught me early to wait, so I don't call a handoff. First down, Edison.
You really have to watch and make sure which one has the ball, but, you know, Edison's doing a good job too, Vance, of just keeping them off balance. They're able to run the ball. You see he keeps it right there. Too athletic for those guys in the front to touch him. And there we go again. See the good blocking downfield. And, you know, great job right there by the Edison Tigers. Let's see what they do right now, Vance.
McGee's 6'3", 200. So he's a big fella as well. First and 10, ball on the 10. McGee hands the ball up to Sutton. Sutton plows his way down to the 1 or 2 yard line. So here comes Edison. Their band just showed up as well. This is the second week in a row that the visiting band shows up at the end of the first quarter. Last week, Bullard band showed up at the end of the first. And here is a second and goal from the 1. McGee has Sutton on his left, and Frontier are going to have to really dig in if they're going to stop these Tigers. Sutton vaults himself into the end zone. Touchdown, Edison.
Well, Vance, Tigers took advantage of a personal foul on them, a personal foul on Frontier, and they just came out and attacked Vance and marched down there, and they almost ran off 6 minutes Vance on their drive. So, you know, look right there what Edison's doing. This is one of those games where the PATs can be big.
Having said that, here comes the PAT for Edison. The snap, the hold, the kick, and this is a beauty right down the middle. So we're tied up at 7. What a nice football game here on Bright House Networks High School Football Game of the Week. Frontier 7, Edison 7. 90 seconds left in this first quarter.
You know, and getting an early text message. Gotta love this technology we have today. You know, 4 minutes left in the first, and Central is on top of BHS 14-0.
Central up on the Drillers 14-0 early. Ooh.
You know, and Central's a team, Vance, that until recently struggled to score points. L.J. Moore, Lawrence Moore's dad, played at BHS, and my nephew, actually, took over at quarterback. Since then, there's been an explosion. He's being recruited nationally as a cornerback, but he's had to play quarterback now, and since that, they've been averaging about 35-plus points. So they had a good defense. They lost only by 1 point. It's close to 10. It was a real close, low-scoring game, but now they're scoring points. So we'll see if that score holds on, and see if the Drillers can come back, and that's what they've done a lot of. Coach Golden's staff coming back in the last few years. Let's see what they do tonight.
Exciting Friday night here. loud. It is a very festive night here in Frontier. Both bands going after it. Edison, Frontier, we're tied up at 7. Nice football game. Here's the kickoff, taken down at the 4-yard line. Looking for some room, and he's going to be taken down at about the, well, he was hit at the 15 or the 16. He goes down at the 11. We'll see where they spot it. So this is all about Friday night tonight.
You see right there, Vance, it can't go much further than the 19. But good coverage again by Edison.
.123 left in the first quarter. 1st and 10. Frontier breaks out of the huddle. The quarterback is Evan Moore. He's a junior. He's 6'1", 190 pounds. He takes the snap. And they run it right behind that big line. And as hard as those running backs hit the hole, they're running into a wall of a bunch of white jerseys. So as we talked about a few moments ago, this could be a big battle up. Well, it is going to be a big battle up front tonight.
It definitely is, Vance. And it's going to be a game, like you said, one in the trenches, I think, tonight. Which one's going to give the quarterback more time to pass? Which one's going to establish the running game? Because both teams seem to want to keep you off balance, running and passing, a good mix. But that line's going to have to hold up.
You see the clock zipping along in the bottom right of your screen. For all intents and purposes, unless there's a flag, maybe the last play of this first quarter. Moore getting some room. Nice patient run, kept his legs churning and burning. And he gets up to about the 26-yard line. It was a 2nd and 8, so it's going to be 3rd and close. 3rd and 3, they say. I don't know if they're going to try to get a playoff. Probably not. That'll do it for the first quarter. 7-7 is the score. We're at Frontier High School. It's a beautiful Friday night before Thanksgiving. There's a sliver of a yellow moon out there, and you're watching High School Football Game of the Week on Bright House Networks. Bakersfield back with a second quarter after this.
Bright House Networks is helping its customers stay connected in more places they spend time by making Wi-Fi access available in downtown Tehachapi. Bright House Networks Wi-Fi will let any Wi-Fi enabled device connect to the internet. Roadrunner subscribers will get the service free in Tehachapi or at any of our other Wi-Fi locations. Learn more about Bright House Networks Wi-Fi at www.brighthouse.com.
Remember their first sleepover? They called just to say goodnight. Then it was the curfew call to let you know they were on their way. Now they're on their own. And with Bright House Network's home phone, staying in touch is just a phone call away, anytime, anywhere. Add home phone for as low as $10 per month and enjoy unlimited calling, plenty of free features, and proven reliability. So you can call just to say hello. Learn more at brighthouse.com/phone.
Welcome back, everybody. Vance Palm here alongside Brian Adams. We are on the North Scissor Lift with Mark. The South Scissor Lift, Bernie Johnson. Down on the grass, Carlos Anguiano, as always. And in the truck tonight, our director is the Godfather, Zachary Flores. And with him is the Master of Heights, Dave Farnes. So we have a big crew tonight. Now they're right below us. The camera angle you're seeing is right where we're sitting. Moore on a 3rd and 3. Big hole, big game. Boy, that's a big pickup right there. Justin Cash. That's a big first down right there, Brian, because they keep the momentum going. It wasn't a one and done from their first series, and they give the ball back to Edison there. Now they're able to kind of start the second quarter. Good 3rd down conversion, and now they can work that clock. That's a big 3rd down for me anyway.
I agree with you, Van. I think it's not a situation where you want to punt the ball.
Right.
Because it looks like the Edison Tigers have multiple weapons on offense. Mm-hmm. So I think the more you can use that ground game like you did the first time, a 6-minute, 7-minute drive, limit the opportunities for the Tigers.
Moore going to keep it himself, has a little bit of a seam. Now he's going to get gang tackle. Wow, he just gets picked up and thrown to the ground by the big fella. He threw him to the ground. Vance Sams Jr., possibly my favorite Edison Tiger out there. Vance.
I'm sure it is, partner, with Vance.
Pow!
Not going to be Moore's favorite Tiger, though.
Vance Sams Jr. threw him to the ground. 2nd and 7.
Well, Vance, like you said, I think Frontier wants to grind people out. You know, we haven't seen them be a super explosive offense, but we'll see what they come up with.
I formation, what a nice play action, and he got rid of it awfully quick. Taylor Holmes, and Moore had a Tiger right in his face on the snap. I mean, the second he turned around, there was a Tiger right in his face mask, but he got rid of it quick enough to Taylor Holmes.
Well, you know, what a tackle, too, by Justin Holmes. That's Holmes on Holmes, I guess, Vance.
Hey, Holmes.
But what a play right there, open field tackle. Looks like it's going to be a big game, Vance, and end up being a short gain with a sure tackle.
Again, 3rd and 3, another big third down. And it's going to be Cash standing to Moore's left. Now they send out Cash. It's a screenplay. Good call. Boy, he's got a lot of room. A ton of ground. He's looking for room to run. And he gets down to the 40-yard line. That's Adam Houck. So Houck's had a couple of big plays, and that was an absolutely perfect call by Coach Lewis.
Well, Coach Lewis is a genius on the play call in Vance. He's going to keep you off balance. He's going to put a couple of wrinkles you haven't seen on film yet. And right there, Houck just does a great job of running, and he's going to have about 60 yards receiving already, Vance, on 2 catches.
Boy, that offensive line sold that, didn't they? They did a nice job selling that baby.
You know, and they flared Cash out, and guys went with Cash, and it just left it wide open. And it just gives you something to think about on defense where you have to stay home, and it might open some other things up.
Well, what a call. Under 10 left here in the first half. 7-7, 1st and 10. High snap. Moore pulls it in, hands it to Cash, and Cash loses his footing in the middle of the football field. You know, we see this a lot here in mid-November. You know, they're 12 weeks into their season now. This football field's taking a lot of wear and tear. Also, they have an award-winning marching band that spends a lot of time on this field. So it might be a hair slippery there between the hash marks.
Well, Vance, when this time of year in the field gets a little eaten up and it gets a little slippery, it's when your balance really comes into play. The guys who keep their shoulders over their knees and have better balance, stronger core, you're not going to see them fall as much.
8:46 left here in the first half. 2nd and 10 from the Tigers' 40-yard line. Moore looks to go to the air, goes down to the sidelines, but the ball was hit. He was hit. It was all hit. And Moore goes down, and he was pressured in there by the big fella. And when I say the big fella, I mean the big fella. Brandon Wright, 6'5", 320. Ooh, that is a big fella.
Vance, and he's pretty quick because he got in there really good and put pressure on the quarterback more. You know, and these are the situations that you want if you're Edison. 3rd and 10, see if you can get your pressure and let your athletes lock up.
Speaking of athletes, so defensive backs for the Tigers, very speedy, quick guys. So 7 up front for Frontier, 4 up front for Edison. They decide to stay on the ground, and Cash is going to get wrapped up and thrown down at about the 41, 42-yard line. Big stop by the Tigers. They like it. Crowd likes it, and that's going to be 4th and really long now for Frontier.
I'll tell you this, the Edison Tigers are very physical, Vance. You know, I mean, they're picking up doing wheelbarrow drills right there, man. And there's 51 again. That's your guy, Vance Sams Jr.
4th and 7 officially, so we have another punt scenario, I'll say, for the Titans. Their first punt scenario went very well. They hard counted and were able to get a first down out of it. But now, Tyler Kemka standing absolutely midfield right on the Titans logo. Perfect deep snap, and here comes the punt. Kemka angles it. Could be a good bounce, and it's going to be caught. What a nice play. Smart play. Oh, but it goes in the end zone. Are you kidding me? Well, it should have been touched. He got it before it even hit the 5-yard line. Oh, okay, good. They're going to call it at the 5. He had it at the 5, then he tried to throw it back, and then it rolled into the end zone. What a funky play that was, but it should be right about the 4 or 5 yard line. That's where it was
this is
first
a good
touched.
little angle punt, trying to put it inside the 10. You'll see right here, the first touch is about the 7 yard line,
Right.
Vance. And I'm going to argue, too, there's got to be a touchback, Vance, because if he knocks it into the end zone.
Nick Santoro was the man out there to try to make it happen. So Santoro did a nice job of putting his hand on the ball. So they do bring it out to the 20 yard line. Could have had it at the 6 or 7, but it went in the end zone. So 20 yard line, 1st and 10, 7.5 left here in this first half. We're all tied up, a touchdown apiece. And you're watching all of this Bright House Network's exclusive coverage of high school football game of the week. It only happens one place. You can only watch one entire football game in its entirety right here, Bright House Networks. Here comes the snap on a 1st and 10. McGee wants to go long, throws it out, has his man open. Will he get it? Oh, goodness. And this young, speedy receiver right here, DeAndre Howard, he is extremely fast, and it's one-on-one, literally. Jersey 1, number 1 on both teams.
Well, Vance, somebody's got to get a clue over there that you can't just let this kid run by you. It's the second time he caught one out of bounds. That was just a tad bit too far. But Vance, he's going 7, 8, 9 yards behind people. Now it's Caleb Thompson on the covers there. You have to understand you're going against a speed demon. You have to open up your hips, and you got to run early. Make him cut underneath you, run a corner route, or come back to the line of scrimmage. But don't just give him the option to run by you.
2nd and 10. Now they're throwing out to the short flats, and it's caught. And it's a good move, and he's got more steam going. It gets brought down about the 44-yard line. So that's going to be Runderson. And Hauk is the one that brings him down. But, oh, what a nice play. Great downfield blocking. Cuts upfield, and Hauk saves the touchdown. Believe me, he was gone.
Oh, yeah, there was nobody going to catch him, Vance, if he doesn't make that saving touchdown.
So we'll dip below 7 minutes here left in the first half. And here come the Edison Tigers. McGee stands at about the 40-yard line. And it's a handoff. And Frontier looks like they're going to handle it pretty well, and they do. Maybe a gain of about 1 or 2. In on the tackle, Brooks Douglas. And
Well,
Christian
Vance,
Deaton.
That's a good play right there by Titans. Their first win on defense in a while. Making a good play on first down. And 2nd and 6, so not a bad play. But I think you have to watch now, Vance, for McGee on those play actions and that read option, on the read, Vance, like you're talking about. He'll read it and keep it, but he has it all going right now.
2nd and 6. They go right back to him, and this is going to be a first down. And he's
No,
still
and
on
more,
his feet.
Vance.
Makes another cutback. Gets brought down right below us at the 10-yard line. So it's a really, really nice run out there by Blake Wright. Wright brings it down to the 10-yard line. Uh-oh.
Boy, Vance. Let's see what happens right there. He fakes the pass. Good handoff. Let's see the first tackle right there. Caleb Thompson goes by him. Gets knocked off by his own player there, Vance. 3 guys missed. Nobody ever really wrapped up and held on until somebody comes, I think it's, who's that, Thine that comes on and finally holds on and wraps up. So, but not before he gets the ball on the 9-yard line.
Uh-oh. They're right below us, and it's going to be a penalty on Garrett Brown and the Titans. Give them 5 more yards. It'll be 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Uh-oh. Titans going to have to dig in here.
Well, they got to do something, Vance, to stop the bleeding.
.540 and counting remaining here in this first half. Edison on the move. McGee has Sutton standing next to him on his left side. Strong left side. 3 receivers out to the far side. McGee. Hands off to Sutton. Sutton loses his footing, gets behind the big tackles of his own team and gets stalled up just long enough for Frontier to make a play, but It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 1.5-yard line.
You know, Vance, and you're talking about if he doesn't run his own teammates, he scores again, Vance.
Yep. Edison has the Michigan Wolverine helmets. McGee takes the shot and hands the football off, and very glad they get it. It was a touchdown. Didn't know if they were going to call it, and they finally did.
And that's Blake, and good, you know, that's a good little play by the coach as he got the ball down to the 9, handed off to him down there, let him smash in and get a touchdown. And you have the Edison Tigers now 13-7, Vance.
Blake Wright with that touchdown, and he took a big hit, but stretched out, lunged out far enough, got the call. Boom, there's some contact early, just kept those legs churning and burning and fell forward.
Yes, sir.
That's a good call by the official.
I definitely agree with you, Vance. And right now, Vance, I'll tell you, it's not looking good so far for Division I Southern Central Section teams because the Drillers are down 21-0. Last time we heard a score, Liberty was down 3-0, and now you have the Titans down 14-7. So the Fresno teams, the Northern Section teams are very dominant tonight.
4:39 remains here in this first half. Let's see if Frontier can put something together, make something happen here in this last 4.5 minutes here of the half. That would be nice to go in tied up 14-14. We had some options of games to call this week here, and it was a consensus that this game would bring the most compelling story of an Edison high school football team against a very good Frontier team that we saw beat the Drillers. Edison, chip on their shoulder about their seeding. They're 8-2. They're always strong, deep team. So, and it's turning out to be that game we thought. Right now, the team from Fresno leading our team from Bakersfield by touchdown, 14-7.
You know, Vance, the thing about it, it's early in the game in terms of there's plenty of time. It's not a panic situation. But I think the Titans have to get something going with Cash. Cash was a big playmaker against the Drillers, and when he plays well, they have done well as well.
As we mentioned a bit earlier in the game, in the first quarter, they've got some marquee players that you probably haven't heard their names called tonight. They're not playing. They're not on the team for Frontier. And these are guys that helped that victory against the Drillers. They're not here now. So it's up to the remaining guys here to fight this thing out. Here's a low squib taken by Troy Banks. He took it on a one hop, got it up to the 30, and then took a big shot. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 30. Frontier, let's get something happening here, fellas. 4:33 remains here in this first half.
But a lot of football to go, Vance. You know, and right now, just got to settle down, get your offense going, and, you know, not trying to make light of the situation, but, you know, they're missing some key pieces, Vance, into that team that beat the Drillers. So they have to overcome some things tonight. They have to just get some things going and use what they have tonight and make some plays.
So they get an easy 5. That always helps. First and 5. Moore takes the snap, hands it to Cash. Cash cuts up hard on the far side. Just what you're talking about, Brian. Let's just reestablish what we've done, what we know, and that's grinded out, hard-hitting football. And we get a shot, we'll take it. But here's a good look at Cash going to the far side.
You know, and a good job, he said. Vance picked up 4 yards. Very patient run, made a guy miss, and was able to pick up 4. You know, now you're in 2nd and 1, and you got a coach like Coach Lewis calling plays. This opens up his playbook to do a lot of different things. You know, get Houck involved, get Cash involved, something out the backfield, or maybe get Moore going. Moore's a big-time quarterback, Vance.
2nd and 1. Picked up 4 on that carry. Ball batted down by the big fella, and he's a big guy. That's number 15. That's Anthony Shepard, 6'3", 210. 240, sorry. Wow, what a big kid.
Yeah, great job right there. I'm having a hard time reading the program, Vance.
Now, for those of you,
on Edison Tigers,
they've got it in black and gold. The line, every other line is black and gold, and the names are tiny and they're in white. Here's Cash looking to get a first down. I think he got it.
Yeah, I think he makes that easy, Vance, and moves the chains.
Ooh, attaboy. It's a beautiful night tonight. Had some very refreshing rain today, and clear skies. You can see the mountain ranges surrounding us, north, south, east, and west. Not nearly as cold as it was last week at Stockdale. Beautiful night.
Tonight's awesome, Vance. I mean, we couldn't ask for a better night than what we've had so far. And
I formation, handoff. And that's Nick Santoro. And a nice job up front by both teams. Again, we're broken record here, broken DVD, broken CD, whatever you want to call it. But the big battle right now happening right on the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 9, 2:46 and counting. I formation. And they bust it right up the middle. This time it's Taylor Holmes. Holmes gets maybe 3 or 4.
Vance, and like we said, you see now the Frontier Titans are really using their line, getting off the ball, 3rd and 5. Very manageable down and distance. You can do a lot of things. I wouldn't be surprised to see the rollout. You have the clock going down. Remember, Edison gets the ball to start the half. So if you're Frontier, you want to put some points on the board before the half.
I formation, 3rd and 5. Look for a hard count, maybe. They don't have time. They got to get it going. Cash looking for some room. Cash gets it in. Oh, boy, that'll be awfully close to a first down. And I think he got it. They're going to move it. What a nice play. Cash comes up with the 6 yards needed to get it. First down.
But just watch Cash pick and choose where he wants to go. Slips through the hole here. Finishes forward. Does a great job of really running tough inside the tackles, Vance.
Now it's a race against that clock. 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. Moore looks like he wants to go to the air, and he does. Goes to the left side, throws it up there, and it's picked off. What a fantastic athletic play. Grabbed out of the air by Justin Holmes. Wow.
Vance, have we said that Edison has some athletes? I mean, these kids are making some truly terrific athletic plays, Vance. I mean, he's the safety. One, he reads Moore's eyes the whole time. He breaks on the ball, jumps over, becomes the receiver, secures the catch. Great angle, great photography right there. And Edison Tigers are back in business, Vance, because they can hit you quick. So I think you have to be very careful and don't let these speedy receivers blow by you and make it a 21-7 game going to half.
Holmes with a big play.
We saw that punt by Tyler Kempka. He's number 4 in the section in punting, Vance. He's had 11 balls inside the 20.
McGee wants to go long. Throws one up again. This time he's going to his tall receiver. He's going for a height this time. That's Tyrone Smith. He's 6'3", and he's speedy. So look out, Frontier. They're coming at you.
And that time, Caleb Thompson, let's give him credit, was in good position right there. The only ball was going to beat him, Vance, was going to be a perfect pass.
You're right. 2nd and 10.
So, so Kemka's number 4 in the punting advance. Talked about we almost saw that one nearly downed in there. He's had 11. But, number 2 in the section is Brendan Rufus from Golden Valley. We didn't see him. But, Vance, he averaged 42 yards per kick this season. He had 14 inside the 20, led the section.
Let's get that kid up to the hill. Let's get him to Panorama. 2nd and 10. And that may be encroachment.
Dead ball.
Oh, it's going to be against Edison, so moves it back a little bit. Bring up 2nd and 15 with 1:17 remaining here in this first half.
That might be something that really helps out the Frontier Titans with the ball going back. But they definitely have to be ready, And with 1:20 left, they may want to back up a little bit, play a little softer, and force these guys to catch things underneath.
The Titans have 3 timeouts. McGee wants to throw, takes a big hit, and it is caught out at the 24-yard line. And with the whistles blow, timeout somebody. It was 2nd and 15. So with 1:06 here, takes a big hit. It's a nice catch.
And good catch by Viney. And Viney Vance also is a real good basketball player. Very good point guard, very shifty, able to drive and can can throw some dimes out, Vance.
Edison, always dangerous. And they're up by 7 with 66 seconds left here in this first half. Brian was giving you some of the scores of the other games. Garces also hosting Kingsburg tonight. West High School's at Lemoore. 2 local teams going at it tonight. South at Independence and Delano at Ridgeview. How about the Arvin Bears at Wasco? Fowlers at Bakersfield Christian tonight. 3rd and 3. McGee out to the far side. Has his man and he gets out of bounds. So a nice play out there by Runderson. Runderson picks up the first, gets out of bounds. 1st and 10 Edison.
That's a smart play right there, Vance. He knows he can't get much further down the field, so he goes right out of bounds, stops the clock. They still have 2 timeouts left and a minute to go. And again, Vance, if they're not going to play softer and back off these guys, I would be surprised if we see Edison take a chance going deep downfield on one of those post plays again.
Exactly 1 minute left. McGee flushed it out of the pocket. In trouble. Floats one up there. Oh, what a catch. Huge catch by Runderson.
Bye-bye,
now he's
Vance.
got some room. Now he's got some room.
He couldn't turn on all the way.
Oh, my goodness.
What a catch.
Grab.
I told you they're being coached by Coach Brandon Brazil, who played at UCLA, one of the big-time receivers out there. And I was watching them in the warm-ups, Vance, and they were catching balls one hand just like this, jumping up and really concentrating on the ball. And you see that concentration by Runderson right there. That is just big-time football. These receivers are for real, Vance.
This team is for real. He finally gets forced out of bounds. And, another thing, McGee threw it off of his back foot under pressure, floated it out there. So now it's 1st and 10 from the 14. And Frontier needs to really lock it in here on defense and keep them out of the end zone. McGee looks right the entire time. McGee throws. This time it's out here. Caught with one hand again. A one-handed grab again by Runderson. Oh, goodness.
I was messing with Brandon before the game. I said, man, these kids play like you. And he was kind of smirked. They're playing like him tonight, fans. One-handed catches. He was that kind of player at UCLA, making big-time plays. He's also a former Tiger.
That fan got the full roll. back on the head all the way around.
This might be the best 2-minute drill we've seen, Vance.
I would think so. 2 one-handed nabs out of the air. 2nd and 7. McGee with 39 seconds. Now McGee goes out to the left side. And this is going to be a touchdown. Edison, touchdown. Jondre Howard finally gets his.
But remember I said, Vance, earlier, and we'll wait for the horn, because the train is on the track, partner. The train is on the track. The Edison Tiger track, that is, the Edison Express.
Wow. That did not take long. They were back at their 5-yard line.
And that's Coach Brandon Brazil right there with the beanie on, Vance, the former Bruin. But Vance, right now, their athleticism is just outshining the Frontier Titans right now. There's nothing they can do. I mean, we get a replay of the touchdown. I want to show you something I've been impressed with all night long. I don't know if we have the replay on advance, but the replay of that touchdown just illustrated how great these receivers are for each other. Now, he's catching the ball. That's Howard. Now, look at the receivers lock up. They give him an alley to run through, and they're blocking for each other. And you can tell they don't care who gets the ball. You get the ball, Vance, I'm blocking for you. I get the ball, you're blocking for me. And they're making big plays. I don't know what the problems were earlier in the year, but they have got them ironed out now, Vance.
Egos have been set aside, and it looks as though that might be just what the doctor ordered for the Edison Tigers. And in a very, very short span of time, they covered a very, very long distance on that football field, and now that 14-point deficit looks very big for Frontier.
You know, Vance, what I'm talking about is we've been doing this for a long time, you and I, partner. That's the best 2-minute drill I've seen, where the kids actually understood what the object was. They caught the ball, they got out of bounds. They took chances down the middle. They knew they had timeouts. Clock's going to stop if we catch the ball, don't get out of bounds, we catch one down the middle. Big-time plays by Runderson on his one-handed grabs, but also understanding to get out of bounds and save time. Great job, well coached, great drive.
Sets the stage for a very interesting second half, as Frontier has 32.5 seconds to make something happen here, and then they will kick off to start the second half. So Frontier going to have to regroup.
You know, Vance, I know it's not the Central Section title game that we saw a few years ago, but it has that same feel to it, where the Edison athletes are just too athletic for the Frontier Titans.
Here's the kickoff. Taken at the 14.
Who's hitting out there, Vance?
Bushnell. Some big contact on that football field tonight.
Forced out of bounds by number 80, Leslie Hood.
I mean, I'm watching the Edison defense come on the field, Vance. They're coming in like charge off the field. I mean, it's like they're ready to get at them again. You know, Vance, this is one of those situations. I know Coach Lewis doesn't like to give in and has a fighting attitude, and one of my good buddies, but I might think of just take a knee on this, Vance, and get to the halftime. Don't take a chance of putting the ball in the air.
Well, they're going to go to the shotgun, but they do hand it off, stays on the ground. Cash runs it, and that will probably, well, Edison calls a timeout. And Coach Manning was screaming at the official. He wanted it much sooner than that. I don't really quite know why.
And that's Coach Manning right there with the white hat talking to the official, Vance, and we get a picture of zoom in on him. And he was an All-American at UCLA and played 6 years in the NFL. He's right in the middle.
If we get a shot of him, he's got the white baseball cap on. He's got
and he's ripping them, Vance. The Edison team right there. He's ripping them because he didn't see something he liked.
All right, well, 13 seconds. He wanted to let him know.
I mean, he's still on him, Vance. You know, he's very competitive. big-time baseball player too, Vance, out of Edison.
13 seconds flat left here in this first half.
And they're going down to the game tomorrow. They let me know that.
No, I'm sure. I want to talk about that in the third quarter. Cash, the handoff, and gets thrown down again. And
brought down by number 51. Vince Jr. There is a flag on the play.
the clock has stopped with 5.3 left.
Well, there's a flag down there about on the 40-yard line.
Well, here's the previous play. We don't see anything that warrants a flag. We didn't see it, but it looked like it's going to get marched off against Edison. The official has the ball at the 45, and now he starts his march. And wow, 15-yarder. They didn't get specific with it, but it's a dead ball personal foul. Maybe it was after the hit or some kind of chicanery took place.
Well, now you can take a chance, Vance. 5.3 seconds. You know, if you throw one down the field and he picks off going to the sideline, it's hard for him to return that one.
So now Frontier takes a quick timeout. Never know. Might try to figure something out. The ball's at midfield, so we've had a few timeouts and some stoppage of plays with penalties here with under 20 seconds, and now with 5.3, which you see in the bottom right-hand screen.
You know, Vance, maybe a hook and lateral. I mean, anything can get him going, but you know, you just look out and you see Frontier. Defensively, they have to figure something out to stop the passing attack right now by the Edison Tigers. I mean, they have been ripping them up.
Let's see what can happen here if they take some kind of a desperation stab at the end zone, or see what happens. They do have Thompson
and
Thine way out to the right. Moore throws one out, and they just get a nice chunk of yards, and that'll do it. No time left. So at the end of the first half, Edison leads 21-7 over Frontier. We'll be back with the third quarter right after this on Bright House Networks Bakersfield.
At Bright House Networks, we don't want to be seen as just a cable company. We hope to be considered a friend, the kind of friend who's in your community, helping out where and when we can, and who can make rainy nights in better than a night out. The kind who lets you conquer worlds from your bedroom and bring old friends together even though they're worlds apart. That's just the kind of friend we are. Bright House. Hello, friend.
Bright House Networks is helping its customers stay connected in more places they spend time by making Wi-Fi access available in downtown Tehachapi. Bright House Networks Wi-Fi will let any Wi-Fi enabled device connect to the internet. Roadrunner subscribers will get the service free in Tehachapi or at any of our other Wi-Fi locations. Learn more about Bright House Networks Wi-Fi at www.brighthouse.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter action here. Our director tonight is the Godfather, Zachary Flores. In the headquarters truck with him is Dave Farnes. On the grass, Carlos Anguiano. In the north scissor lift, Mark is up here. And in the south scissor lift, Bernie is down there. I'm Vance Palm. I've got Brian Adams with me. And it is third quarter action Bright House Network's high school football game of the week. Frontier trails by 2 touchdowns, and that was a fun halftime. I mean, we talked to the principal, Dan Shannon, state championship basketball coach at Foothill High School. Man, what a team they had back then when they won the state championships. You and I talked to Greg Kerr, the dean of local sports, talked about UCLA Bruins, talked about the Division I schools tonight here in Kern County. Not doing so well right now. Bakersfield trailing 21-0 at half. Liberty hanging in there 10-6 right now at Clovis. And our Frontier Titans right now trailing 21-7, and they start out on defense. So here we go to start the third quarter. The quarterback is McGee, and he's had a good night. And they start off running to the right side. Nice job by the Frontier defense. Brian, let's get your take of the first half, both sides of the football.
Well, I think the Frontier has some opportunities to put some more points on the board. Weren't able to. An interception was thrown. Edison came back and scored, made the game 21-7, and they haven't been stopped yet offensively. Edison hasn't. Frontier, I think, has to force a situation of a punt or a turnover.
2nd and 11, a good start there. 1 yard loss on that first down. And they stay on the ground again. Uh-oh. 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 Touchdown, Edison. No flags. Blake Wright. And just as Brian was saying that, and just as I said it was a good start on a 1 yard loss, Blake Wright makes one good cut right here and right there, and that's it. He's gone. And, you know, he doesn't look like he's super speedy.
Yeah, he's just JFE, man. It's just fast enough.
Here's the PAT. It's up. It's good. So just like that. Yikes. After 2 plays, Edison's up 28-7. So we were certainly hoping to give them much better karma than what just happened.
Well, Vance, 2 plays into the third quarter, and they run off a touchdown and score. And it's not getting any better at Central, because L.J. Moore just scored again, a 50-yard touchdown on a fumble, after a fumble by the Bakersfield Drillers.
Wow. Well, see if Frontier can. The Wolfpack of Ridgeview over Delano at halftime. Well, Frontier's going to have to get things going here. And the sidelines is quiet, the stands are quiet, the band is quiet, and it's starting to get cold. Something needs to heat up. Bushnell has it at the 10. Bushnell looks here. Hey, baby. Gets it to about the 50-yard line.
Well, Vance, you said something had to happen, and something did right there. Bushnell comes through and picks up a big-time return. So now they have great field position, and let's see what they can do here.
They're down 3 touchdowns. And we have a new quarterback in Caleb Thompson. And before the ball is snapped, the Edison Tigers take a timeout. And Brian, at halftime, we saw Evan Moore, the quarterback, walking right in front of us. You and I and Greg Kerr were talking. And Evan gimpy on that right side, and he was talking with the trainer. It looked like possibly his thigh or his groin or something that was causing him consternation. And sure enough, he's not out there to take the first snap. It's Caleb Thompson, the junior.
You know, Vance, and he's been the quarterback all year long, and now you have Caleb coming in. You know, we don't know how many reps he got at practice or anything else, but he's in here now, and he is in charge of trying to bring this team back, and we'll see what he can do. You know, he's a young man of great integrity, and also, Vance, a leader, transferred over from Bakersfield High School, but he had been class president and those type of things, so he has some leadership abilities. And let's see what he can do now in these pads.
Thanks for the insight, Brian. Appreciate it. Now Caleb Thompson stands at his own 42. Option, pitches it out. Nice play out there, so it's a good catch and run by Cash on the pitch. So a good burst of energy on that first play from the line of scrimmage. Attaboy.
You know, Vance, and you need some positive things to happen. And again, Cash gets out there, picks up a good, 7 or 8 yards, Vance. So good play on Caleb's first play. Nice, safe pitch.
Second and 1. Thompson himself picks up the first down for sure. And it's early in the second half, just started the third quarter, but Edison already scored on their second play of the second half. So now we see Thompson having to carry the load himself. The quarterback, Evan Moore, is dinged up, not out there.
Right. You know, again, now this limits your play calling, Vance. You have your backup quarterback in. You usually can't put as much in for him during the practice session, so we'll see what they do.
I formation. Fumble, 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 fumble. Oh, and the ball was sitting right there for a second, and that's going to be Edison football. They got it.
And you know, Vance, and that's one of the things that can happen, the snap and the exchange. You know, he's just not used to doing it, taking that many probably. And, you know, right there, mishandled exchange, and Edison jumps on it, and they're going to be in attack mode, Vance, looking to add more.
So Justice Frontier was starting to get into somewhat of a groove. A mishandled snap. Ouch. First and 10, Edison. 10-19 remains here in the third quarter. A lot of football left. So McGee comes out. He takes a snap, throws it out here to the near side. And it's caught. And it's a really nice defensive play out there. Good hands by Bushnell. Literally stuck his hand up there and got the jersey of the speedy Howard. We know he's fast, Howard, and Bushnell did what he had to do. Stuck his paw up there and grabbed him.
You know, Vance, and you need to play. Good first down play by the defense. A loss of a yard. So now can you get another good play? You know what I mean? You have to start trying to just stack them together, play after play.
Second and 11 officially. Strong left side. 3 receivers out to the left side, and they go to one of them. And again, it's going to be Howard. Howard takes a big hit on the sidelines.
And that's what I mean, Vance. You get the one good play, and then you come back, and here's the blocking at point attack. Viney's done a good job all night long.
The holding.
And then, you know, right there, 8 yards. Or 9 yards, because it's down to 2 yards now. So, you know, those are the plays you don't want to have on the second down. You want another tight play, maybe only get 2 or 3 yards. But, again, you know, Edison just seems to be able to do anything they want to right now, Vance.
3rd and 2. Everybody on the left side, the far side. And it's a handoff. Can they get him? Can they catch him? Sutton Ooh, close, real close.
I think he picked up the first down on that, Vance.
They got it.
But watch the speed that he has, Vance, to get outside to contain. He's going to make a nice cut to pick up the first down. He knows he has to get up there. And really, look at that tackle by Howe.
Yeah, nice job by Frontier defense. It's just that he only needed 2 yards, and he got 3. So now it's 1st and 10 inside Frontier territory now at the 48-yard line. McGee and the Edison Tigers looking good. Everybody out to the far side, the left side. And the handoff is Sutton again.
Now
Wow,
they're
they
saying
must
on the PA, Kevin Nutt. And we've been
they
in
must
our
have another
program
4.
says Marquise Sutton.
Kevin Nutt is number 21. So the announcer up there just a bit outside. Second and 9, 8:23 and counting. Now McGee evens out the field with his receivers. Wants to go to the
has the
air.
ball.
Flicks one out here, and it's overthrown, and he got rushed. Nice pressure up front. Frontier got in that backfield, and some good work out there by, well, he's got number 76, and doggone it, wouldn't you know it, we don't have a 76 in our program. But Ivan Kosarev as well was in there, and might as well go ahead and mention Augie Alcantar, front 4 up there for the Frontiers. 3rd and 9, huge play for Frontier defense. 3 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. McGee stands at midfield, takes the snap, looks right the entire time, flushed out of the pocket. McGee's in trouble, but boy, his athleticism takes over and he gets shoved out of bounds. Nice job, Frontier defense.
And that's the play they needed, Vance, right there. Bring pressure on McGee, collapse the pocket, and what could have been like a 6-7 yard loss, McGee actually picks up some yardage on that play, Vance, but it's going to bring out the first punt so far from Edison Tigers tonight.
Yeah, good job out there by Troy Banks. Just kind of held him in check. And so now the first punt of the evening will take place. Maybe. And Finn will be back to receive. They do put it up, and it's Thin, and he's going to fair catch it at the 18-yard line. Wise decision. It's 2 Tigers right in there. So the Frontier defense holds. And it'll be 1st and 10, 7:57 remains in the 3rd quarter. You're watching high school football game of the week, brought to you by Bright House Networks. Bakersfield, this is the only place you can watch a football game in its entirety here locally for high school. And it's a pleasure to bring it to you. I'm Vance Palm. I'm joined by Brian Adams. And the home crowd here getting the scores given to them. 28-7 Central over BHS. And Clovis is up 10-6 on Liberty. So Liberty hanging in there. A hard count. Nobody goes. Pitch this time to Cash. Cash gets maybe 1 or 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8 or 7, depending on where they spot the football. Nice job by this Edison defense. Swarm tackling him over there. Get about 2 or 3 yards maybe. 2nd and 7. That shot you're seeing is exactly where Brian and I are on the north scissor lift. So you're looking at exactly what we're looking at. We're above them by about 40 feet. Second and 7, 7:18 left here in the 3rd. The quarterback is Caleb Thompson, in for the injured Evan Moore. Thompson hands it to Cash. Cash does a nice job battling through and gets really close to that first down. It's going to be 3rd and short.
Tackled by number 13, Aaron Johnson.
You know, Vance, I think Cash is doing a good job of running the ball tonight.
Pick up a 6 on the play.
He hasn't really had his big plays we saw against BHS, but he's ran the ball solid.
3rd and 1. Frontier really needs to keep this drive going. Strong right side for Thompson. And it's going to be Cash, and he's in trouble. He doesn't get it. That defense holds, and here's a late flag. Uh-oh. And it's possibly going to be against Edison.
Brought down by number 63.
And it looks as though Nautica Fleming is going to get taken out of the football game, number 17. And his coach is right in his face.
Yeah, Ricky is not happy about that at all.
And it was going to be a third down hold, a stop. The defense did their job, but one of the Tigers had a late hit, came in, and not a smart play. So, new life for Frontier. Thompson keeps it, has a ton of room. Thompson looking for a block outside. Caleb Thompson picks up some room, gets bumped out of bounds at about the 24, 25-yard line. What a nice play by Caleb Thompson. Really nice fake.
Well, Vance, it looks like they found something with Caleb. Great job of the read on Caleb. He reads the defense. He's going to keep it here. And Vance, he has a little bit of speed on him. As you see, he's running away from some Edison Tigers now. And then here you go, good big read. And on the sideline, took a little bit of hit, but he popped up, and the Titans are in business.
6 minutes and 3 seconds, 4 seconds left here in this third quarter. Thompson breaks him out of the huddle. The crowd back in it. Thompson hands it to Cash. Cash gets maybe a yard.
Yeah,
positive
he's met
yard.
there by Chris Allison, bringing him down right there. And what's 73?
Brandon Wright.
Yeah, Brandon Wright. So there was no room to run there as Cash was put down for about a 1 yard gain. But I like that read option they were doing right there, Vance.
Second and 9. Thompson in big trouble. Big trouble. And they were all over that, Edison was.
And that's a good adjustment right there, Vance. Realizing they only have two options, Thompson or Cash. And they just brought the house in on that run, a run blitz, and worked out just perfect for the Edison Tigers.
Well, here's a look at it. There was never even a chance to set up the option. They were just all over him. You see the offensive lineman kind of standing above it saying, wow. So now on a 3rd and 11 with 4:48 and counting in the third, each play gets bigger and bigger for this Frontier offense. I don't know if we'll see Thompson go to the air, but he may have to now on a 3rd and 11. He does have the big fella, Taylor Holmes, back with him, the fullback. Maybe Holmes will pick up some blocking duties. Thompson rolls to his left, floats one out there. Uh-oh. Oh, and it goes through the hands. These DBs for Edison are so absolutely gifted. They're picking off balls out of the air. This one was destined to just fall into his hands, and look at this.
And
Gotta be kidding me.
Gives Cash an opportunity, Vance.
Oh, that could have been.
Went from pick to 6.
Oh, goodness.
But instead, incomplete pass.
Look at this. So now Kempka comes on for a 45-yarder. How's this for playoff football? The snap, the hold. Kempka up, and it is just short. Just short. The snap, the hold, the kick, and it was just short. Kempka almost got it. So with 4:19 left in the third quarter, Edison's going to take over in pretty good field position.
You know, and then you got a little bit of wind kicking in, and that's why it's got a little cooler, Vance. Because I didn't have my jacket on earlier. It was actually kind of nice.
We want to mention something of great importance to Kern County in general, most certainly the Kern County athletic and sporting world. And right after this play, we're going to make mention of it. We had one of our local heroes pass away. 1st and 10. Ball out to the flats. A lot of yards after catch here. And Mike Dallas Sr., longtime boxing coach for the Bakersfield Police Activities League. Good buddy of mine, good buddy of yours. Former Roadrunner, former Foothill Trojan, passed away. Had a very short but ferocious battle with leukemia. 7 months he had it. Passed away at age 45. Michael Dallas, Godspeed. We loved you.
You know, Vance, Michael and I had Anton come live with me last year, took him into PAL and started teaching him boxing and was taking him under his wing. And I just want to really personally thank you for taking my kid in and helping him in a situation that, you know, gave him something positive to do. And that's what Mike did. He gave kids some positive outlets, Vance, as opposed to the streets and the things they were exposed to. And we're going to miss him. Our hearts go out to his family. You know, his girlfriend, Felicia, a great lady, and his prayers are with you and your family. And just rest in peace, Mike, and, you know, we love you, man.
Michael Dallas passes away at age 45. Running play right up the middle. It's Sutton. Sutton still on his feet, gets brought down at about the 43-yard line, so a 1st and 10. For those of you that might remember, before we were Bright House Networks, we were Time Warner Cable, and we used to do Fight Night at the Garden. I was the blow-by-blow announcer down at the ringside, and it was one of my favorite things I ever did. And Mike Dallas Sr. was my partner, and we would have a good time down there, and boy, he would educate me every single round. So Mike Dallas, we will miss you very much so. What a great man. Here's a nice, big, strong stand by the Frontier line. And it's 2.5 left here in the 3rd quarter. Nice job here by Frontier line.
You know, they did a great job right there, Vance. Good penetration. Almost caused the fumble there. But, you know, that's what the Frontier Titan fans, they're hoping for something to happen. An interception, a fumble, you know, something to get the momentum going back in their direction.
2nd and 9. Now McGee goes to the shotgun. Hands the ball off. Another nice job by the defensive front up there, except for the fact that the running back is just a bulldozer. He keeps saying Kevin Nutt. Either they've changed jerseys or changed names, but maybe they did change names and jerseys and we don't know. We'll just say number 4. We think it's Sutton.
Well, whatever. He's been running the ball very well tonight, Vance.
This score just in the 3rd quarter. It's Columbus High School 17.
3rd and 3. 1:27 remains here in the 3rd quarter. Edison now more than happy, more than willing and able to grind this clock out against Frontier. They lead by 21. 3rd and 3. McGee throws it out here to the speedy Howard. Now Howard cuts all the way across the field. Howard looking to get a first down, and he does. Howard cuts back against the grain, gets up to the 14, 13, 12-yard line. And Frontier did a great job initially on that play. But Howard caught it and said, nope, I'm going all the way back the other way. I'll make some other stuff happen. Here we go.
Vance, Howard just makes things happen. Very, very fast kid. But on top of that, he's quick, Vance. Agile, able to change direction. You know, and this right here is just him making a play. The coach can't design that. That's just all athlete right there.
McGee up to 14 now. Hands off to either Sutton or Nutt. So they must have gone up to the announcer's booth and let him know that the numbers are not correct. We have number 21, Kevin Nutt. They have Marcus Sutton, number 21. So we're going to go with Kevin Nutt, the running back. We've been mispronouncing his name all night long, but since this game will only be played locally, not that many people are really going to be overly concerned. And the coaching staff from Edison wants to get this play called, but McGee looks over and says, all right, you want me to call it? I'll call it. With 3 seconds left, they take the snap, and they have him to Nutt, and he doesn't get it. The ball gets down to about the 2nd-yard line, but it'll be 1st and goal when we come back with the 4th quarter.
At Bright House Networks, we don't want to be seen as just a cable company. We hope to be considered a friend, the kind of friend who's in your community, helping out where and when we can, and who can make rainy nights in better than a night out. The kind who lets you conquer worlds from your bedroom and bring old friends together even though they're worlds apart. That's just the kind of friend we are. Bright House. Hello, friend.
Bright House Networks is helping its customers stay connected in more places they spend time by making Wi-Fi access available in downtown Tehachapi. Bright House Networks Wi-Fi will let any Wi-Fi enabled device connect to the internet. Roadrunner subscribers will get the service free in Tehachapi or at any of our other Wi-Fi locations. Learn more about Bright House Networks Wi-Fi at www.brighthouse.com.
Welcome back, everyone. 1st and goal from the 2 as we start the 4th quarter. Edison in command at 28-7 and not far away from making it 34-7. Strong right side, 3 receivers spread out right in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. So McGee looking at an awfully powerful right side. Here's the snap, and they give it to
On the carry, number 4,
Kevin Nutt, and he gets in. Touchdown, Edison.
Well, Vance, Edison's put another 7 on the board, and, Nutt right there just powers through on that goal line yardage. And Edison Tigers have been dominant from their first possession offensively.
on for the extra point attempt, number 39.
I think, Vance, the only time they had a setback is the 1 punt. So Edison's offense has been crisp and on point tonight.
Here's the PAT. The snap, the hold, it is up and it is through. So now all of a sudden Edison in big-time command here in the 2nd round of the CIF playoffs, Division I Frontier. Trying to hang on here, and it's 35-7 Edison. Perennial powerhouse from up north. And the black and gold starting to really pour it on now. Kevin Nutt just smashes another one.
Vance, as far as Division I football is concerned in playoffs, we're looking at not having one Bakersfield, not Bakersfield High, but one Bakersfield team, in the next round. Because right now everybody's down in that division. Liberty's down, the Drillers are down, Frontier is down. Ridgeview, last I heard, they were winning. I think Garces, last I heard, they were winning as well. So,
blowing them out.
in the lower divisions, we're doing well. I haven't heard about Wasco, but I have to just think they're winning.
Wasco's up big, 35-7 on Arvin, or 28-7, I think, something like that. Greg Kerr was telling me that score. Wasco, Greg had mentioned something at Wasco. Well, I shouldn't quote him. So how about if I just agree when I say that someone by the name of, that rhymes with
Back to the Titans.
Heg Her said that Wasco belongs in the state playoffs. I agree.
Well, they're going to get a chance to play themselves in.
I agree. Done a really nice job up there. Last couple years, they've been a powerhouse. All right, Frontier going to try to make something happen. Ball taken at the 5-yard line. Oh, huge hits going on out there.
Here he goes, Vance.
And Cash trying to break free and gets it to the 45-yard line. So, some huge hits. I don't know if we'll see it in our replay from whatever angle we show it, but one of the Frontier Titans came all the way across the field and just laid out an Edison Tiger. Look very closely, right, bam.
Oh, there it is right there, Vance. Number 6, I think, was laid out. I didn't see who hit him, but great block.
Man, oh man, what a big hit. So they're still out there head hunting. Heads on a swivel, boys. Heads on a swivel. So look at this.
No,
inside Vance, Edison territory.
We have our awards coming up and
AP awards.
AP awards. And what backs have you liked so far? Give me a sneak preview on your backs.
I will do that after this play. 1st and 10. Screenplay. They go to the air and close to a face mask. No call. Grabbed him by the helmet.
Thompson's pass complete to number 6, Garrett Brown.
These guys are excited. Well, to answer your question, I think Sheldon Croney Jr., obviously from Garces, great running back. He showed me a lot this year. Running back / quarterback Cotton Moya from Ridgeview, as well as his cohort in the backfield. I mean, you're talking about 2 guys from Ridgeview. One's a quarterback that I would label as a running back here on a 2nd and 10. And a nice pass and a nice catch out there. Looking for some room. Can he get in? It's Bushnell. Bushnell's going to score. Touchdown. Helmet off, and he smashes the football.
He's going to get a penalty for it.
We saw it all on that play. A touchdown, a helmet popping off, a spike, which costs him a flag, and the official goes up to let him know. I don't know why the official has to tell him. I mean, he threw the flag. It's good enough, isn't it?
You know, Vance, and let's give some credit to Caleb Thompson. I mean, he's coming here, Vance, probably didn't get many opportunities, but he actually has moved the ball well against Edison and gets a touchdown toss.
Well, a beautiful play, a nice little screen pass, and they read it. Edison was all over it, but didn't react in time, and boom.
We have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the offense.
Bushnell, the senior, said, hey.
I took my helmet off, I ran hard. I'm going to put an exclamation point on that one.
I'm a senior. This may be my last game. Hey, this is all conjecture. I don't know what he was thinking. But he went ahead and said, you know what? I'm spiking this football.
And the Drillers, I just say, you know, how the Bakersfield teams aren't doing that well. 8 minutes left, and the Drillers just scored again to get down by 14.
Oh, boy. Here comes Gola.
It's just another typical game for us, man. It's just how we play.
35-13. Here comes the PAT. Kemka will do the kicking, of course. Snap, hold, kick, it's up, it's good. The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. So here's a look at it right here. Caleb Thompson, as Brian said, is doing a good job. He tosses right here, and you can see Edison. They're right there, but they just missed the tackle. Overplayed it, and here comes Bushnell, and he can see the end zone. He's thinking, hey,
he can feel it coming too. I mean,
the helmet comes off. He pops up and says, yeah!
He's like, I don't blame him on that one, Vance. Long night, probably a little frustrated, and that just kind of came out right there. And, you know,
Bushnell,
right there. Wow, Vance, I'm getting a tweet, and the Drillers just cut the gap 28-14 on a 76-yard touchdown pass from Rufus to Kevin Hayes. He had earlier a 66-yard reception. And we talk about backs. He's going to be in my receivers group for sure, Kevin Hayes.
Oh.
You know, and I can't figure out, too, over up there, can't figure out also, Vance, if I'm going to put both or one of the receivers from Garces, because they've been very solid all year long.
Sweeney and Fresh.
Sweeney and Fresh. And, no, he was hurt last time we played. From Garces. I'm drawing a blank here.
Oh, you're thinking of Ballou, Angus Ballou.
Yeah, Angus Ballou, because he's like a real big playmaker, kickoff return guy as well. But backs, you know, I think we've seen Cash. I think I like what Cash has done this year. Crony, like you said. Tripp from Ridgeview, I mean, he's a no-doubter.
Well, and, you know, you've got
quarterback-wise,
Cruz Adams.
I mean, he's like top 4 or 5 in the section, so, and he's played beautiful this year.
The AP awards to be handed out in our final football game, and these are, I mean, Kern County, these are prestigious awards, the AP awards, not to be confused with the Associated Press. It's the Adams Palm Awards, and the awards themselves are phenomenal. Now, they're not tangible. Can't really hold them or do anything with them. We don't give you anything, but to be named an AP award winner for Bright House Networks, that carries a lot of weight. I had one parent track me down a few years ago. Hey, when does my son get that award? I said, my man, he got it. He said, what do you mean? He said, we mentioned his name on air. He got it. All right. Nice coverage job. Good job by the Titans. It could have been a lot worse. The tackle was made by Michael Stillion. It could have been a lot worse. So, 1st and 10. Midfield for the Edison Tigers. More running backs. You look at Frontier Titans had one. It's not with them anymore, and he did a lot of damage on that long drive.
He did a lot of damage in 2 games we had this year, the Ridgeview game and the Driller game.
Low snap, new quarterback, and that's going to be Preston Scott. So Coach Manning may be looking down the road a little bit for a game next week already. He's up 21 with 10.5 left, and his star quarterback, Kari McGee, not in now. Another running play.
Vance, you know, Edison again has executed their game plan, you know, almost to perfection, Vance. You know, when you have all these series, you didn't have but one punt, as we see one, like a cramp right there by Nutt. But, I mean, Edison has done a great job. They have a lot of playmakers, Vance. You know, like, again, you know, it's just hard to match up with these guys. And they just really just make you pay when you're out in space.
Start the clock up again, 9:53 here in the 4th quarter, 3rd and 4. Strong right side. They go to the air, and nice job by this Frontier defense. They're not going to get it. It was caught out there by Isaiah Runderson. We'll see what the coaching staff wants to do for Edison. 4th and 4, but they're at the 45-yard line.
And yep, 35-14, Vance is not much. You know, I think that you're worried about it. I don't know what their punting game is, but they're going to go for it. And, you know, they might try a hard count, Vance, just to see what happens.
And their backup quarterback, Preston Scott, he's 6 foot, 180 pounds, so he's a big kid, and he has a running back that's new standing next to him, and that's Ronnie Manning. So Ronnie Manning Takes
Scott
the
has
fake.
it, and it's
Fumble,
on the
fumble,
ground.
fumble, 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 fumble. He better hurry. He better hurry. He better hurry. He
got
gets
it.
in. He picks it up and gets in. Jasmine Thine picks it up. Touchdown, Frontier. A no-nonsense running play to the left side. And the fumble is picked up. Gone.
Wow, Vance. Wow, that's all you can say. I got a feeling, Vance, that the starting quarterback goes back in this next series. What was it, about a 50-yard return, Vance?
Yep. Kemka up.
The extra point attempt is good. There was 8:49 to go in the fourth quarter. It's the Titans 21. The Tigers 35.
Wow, that's all I can say. It was just kind of a workman's-like, yeoman's-like fourth down run. Sorry, a 4th and 4. Just kind of take care of the football, run to the left side. If you don't pick up the first, get out there and play some deep. Fumble! Watch this. Just a great hit by Garrett Brown, and here comes Jasmine Thine. He's out. Strokes it in there. Could have been a late hit. Very close. I mean, he was 3 feet in the end zone when he took that shot in the back. Well, Edison was looking to put the nail in the coffin on a 4th and 4 and kind of just finish this thing off. And now all of a sudden, life back in the band, life back in the crowd, life back in the football team. Edison expecting an onside kick, but with 8:49, trailing by 14. It'll be an interesting decision in what they do. They've got the speedy Howard back there, who's already done a lot of damage. And they also have Blake Wright back there, who's had a touchdown here in the third quarter on the second play of the third quarter. So it's interesting to see what they decide to do on the kickoff. They go ahead and they boot it, and they boot it deep, and they boot it over everybody. So nice, smart job right there. So it'll be 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. That's a good play. Let's see who comes out to quarterback this football team right now for Edison. And you are right, Brian. It is going to be Kari McGee.
Well, they're not playing around now, Vance, as they bring out McGee back. And he's got to wonder if the momentum, if this, his focus is gone now.
We're going to find out here. Coaching staff has the Edison Tigers still huddled up. They have not even gone out to the line of scrimmage yet. So now the officials letting them know, hey, call a timeout, boys, or send them out there. Let's go. They're out of our camera shot. They're not even on the field yet. There they go. So Kari McGee will come out, number 19. And he hustles out there. And they get a flag. They don't get the playoff. And you can see that coming.
Yeah.
You can see that coming. They stood over on those sidelines for a good 20, 25 seconds. And now the coaching staff recognizes it. They know it. They were over there talking to their guys, and they saunter out, and they didn't even get to the ball. And the penalty was called. So now it's 1st and 15. Now the crowd's fired up for Frontier. McGee hands the ball off, and Frontier holds him up. And that's Ronnie Manning.
But now look at the intensity now that Frontier has. They have a belief. They've been down. There's been no excitement, like you said, fans. Now the band is playing, and they're starting to get some momentum. And the only thing that's going to settle this down for Edison is making a big play and getting some of those playmakers back into the game and alleviating this pressure, this swell that's coming up from the Titans.
2nd and 14. McGee has Wright on his hip. McGee looks to the right side, throws it out to the speedy Howard. Howard this time is going to try to cut back. And
Whoa, what a block.
big block by the quarterback, but now Howard's even in more trouble. Howard going to try to make it happen himself, and he runs into big trouble and gets thrown for a loss. So a big block by McGee. The quarterback hit Gabe Valov, but nice job by this Frontier defense. Very close to being a clip. Watch this. Wright gets pulled back here. Look at big 75 here. Here comes the block by McGee.
Block right here on 75. Great block by McGee, but all for nothing. There's a hold out there on the receivers, and that's what the Frontier fans have been wanting to hear called, a holding. So that's going to move it back.
So they decline the penalty and make it 3rd and 14 instead of 2nd and 24. So here it is, Kern County. This is an awfully big play here for Frontier defense. The Edison Tigers have a 2-touchdown lead with 7:42 to go, so they're not feeling the pressure as much as Frontier is to come up with a big play. And in at quarterback is Preston Scott. Scott's the QB. He floats one up there, and it is, they're going to call interference. And the crowd cannot believe it. Cannot believe this call. Well, let's take a look at it, Kern County. We'll slow this down. Oh, my goodness.
I can see that. If we had another angle on that.
Oh, boy. Here's another look at it. No way.
Yeah, I can't tell from there. I mean, it's close.
Yikes. So that's a huge one right there.
Well, Vance, I think what's happened is that McGee is injured, Vance. I mean, they're checking him out on the sideline, so maybe he's injured. He can't go back in the game.
Here's tonight's referees, Les Huber, Dan Hart, the head linesman, Rocky O'Neill, the line judge, Ruben Sanchez, the back judge, Roger Luffnauer, and the box is Rob Guyton.
Well, maybe he's not going, Vance. I mean, he's walking the opposite way of where the coaches are.
Now it's 2nd and 9. Crucial penalty called on Frontier. Flushed out of the pocket, and we'll see what he does with it. And the speed of Edison and Preston Scott, they just keep coming at you. No matter who it is, they just keep coming at it. And now Coach Cornford's probably going to think about a timeout here sooner or later. And sure enough, he does call it. So Coach Cornford called the timeout, got it at 6:20, and he wants to talk to his defense because now it's a 3rd and 3. So Kern County, if you're just getting to your television, Frontier's mounting a comeback on a 3rd and 14 a couple of plays ago. It was an incomplete pass, but here's the call that was made. And I think we're going to see another look at it. We've got a couple of different angles. Preston Scott's the quarterback. He launches this thing.
Please reset the clock to 6.
And Leslie grabbed him early right there, Vance, that right hand. I can't really tell from that angle.
Yikes. The intended receiver was Tyrone Smith, and Troy Banks is playing excellent defense. Here's one more look at it.
Les Banks grabbed him early.
No, he's not next to him.
Yeah, see, I don't see that right hand go up. I can't really tell from there. The question would be the left hand.
Well, here's the look from our camera, from where we were at. And here's a really good look at it here. Boy, oh boy, I would want to be absolutely certain before I threw that flag. Goodness. 3rd and 3. McGee's back in it now. McGee, he's in trouble. He gets flushed out of the pocket. McGee, and he is in trouble. And where's the flag? No flag. Was he out of the pocket?
And saying he was, it was close.
So Frontier defense holds again this time. 4th and 3, and the punt team comes on for Edison. So this deal just got interesting here. 6:15 left in the 4th quarter.
Well, Vance, you know, there's a lot of time left.
And Caleb Thompson, the quarterback, is standing back there waiting to return it. And he fair catches it at the 45-yard line. So pretty good field position for Frontier. Don't go anywhere, Kern County. Don't go anywhere. 6 minutes, 8 seconds left to go. And Edison lost all of their momentum that they had.
They've let it go. And you know, Vance, Liberty is now leading 18-17 over Clovis. And Central just finished Drillers off with a 35-14 lead with 3:50 to go after Rashawn Jones of Central went for a 52-yard touchdown.
So the Drillers season looks like it might be over. 1st and 10 for Caleb Thompson. Thompson, broken play, in big trouble, and gets thrown for a loss by Anthony Shepard. Mike Lewis over there barking orders. Sorry, bud.
That's all right.
So Caleb Thompson ran over to the sidelines real quick to get the call from the offensive coordinator, assistant coach Mike Lewis, just yelled it into him. 2nd and 17, 5:40 and counting. Desperate times now for the Titans of Frontier. The season flashing in front of their eyes. Thompson, draw play. Cash looking for some room. Cash still making moves. What a nice run that was. A hard one, but they've got to get up on that football and hurry up.
And that's what I'm telling too, Vance. They're going to get moving pretty quick here. You know, I think they have to score with at least 3 minutes left. Try your onside kick and see what you can do.
Even our ground cameraman, Carlos Anguiano, weighing in on what he thinks needs to happen. You got to love it, Kern County. You got to love it. Carlos Anguiano, hey, we need a long pass. Well, here's one. Thompson to Cash. Cash has got to get to the first down marker. Edison does a real nice job of running him out. So now it's going to be 4th and 12.
I don't think he got back to the original line of scrimmage, Vance. It's going to be close to even getting there.
Here's a look at it right here. Trying to get to the 40. And he got just about the 41-yard line.
Line of scrimmage. This could be it right here, partner. Big 4th down.
Well, for all intents and purposes, this is the season. 4th and 10 right here. Thompson takes his snap. Going to go to his strong side, which is his left side. Thompson in trouble. Gets thrown down for a sack. And that might do it. And the Edison crowd realizing it, up on their feet, cheering for their guys. Didn't get rid of it. Couldn't get rid of it.
That's Greenberry on the sack. But if we had the replay on that, you'll see really Chris Allison did a great job. You're going to see out here, he's going to keep contained, Vance. He forces Caleb to pull up, and now Greenberry gets the sack. And give the cover secondary great credit as they forced Caleb, didn't give Caleb any options to throw the ball as well.
And in the 4th quarter, CHS losing to Central 35-14.
So it's official. The Drillers have lost. And on a 1st and 10, the Tigers keep it on the ground. Liberty, we hear, hanging on to a scant 18-17 lead on a fumble recovery touchdown late in that deal. Liberty up on Clovis, and when they made that announcement, everybody behind us over here on this Edison side just went, ooh.
I think that could end up being a Central Liberty rematch.
2nd and 6. McGee stays in the football game to finish this deal off. Kind has the football, and he's running hard. Gets tripped up at about the 16-yard line. Sorry, Nutt.
Well, this game, Vance, is pretty much just now what the score is going to be, but Edison's going to walk away with a victory here. You know, with the exception of that one series when Scott was in, they've looked almost impeccable offensively.
Nutt stands on the left side of McGee's hip, and it's a strong left side on a 1st and 10. They're going to stay on the ground, and Nutt looks like he's going to march this one in there, and he does, and he finishes it off. And somewhat understandably, the Frontier defense now looks defeated.
It was just too much, fans. You know, once they had the turnover on downs, and let's give the Frontier kids a lot of credit, fans. You know, to play that hard all year long to win your league and then have some kids not be able to play. It just makes it real tough, Vance. And don't make any excuses. Edison outplayed them tonight. You know, and I don't even know if having those guys makes a difference either, Vance, in terms of the outcome of the game. Maybe it's closer, but I don't, you know, and you can control the ground game a little bit more maybe, but hey, give Edison credit. They came down here on the 99, and you know, that's 2 weeks in a row we've seen the Fresno team just come in and put it to a southern team, a Southern Central Valley team.
I think any time a Fresno team is forced to travel south in November, they've got a chip on their shoulder. I think they just inherently believe that we should be traveling north in November. And so they come down, and Bullard last week made a big statement at Stockdale, and now Edison coming down making that same type of statement at Frontier High School. So BHS going down to Central. This is one of those years where the northern part of the valley is letting everybody know.
You know, and in all fairness, Central is loaded, Vance, with legitimate 4 to 6 Division I players. So, you know, they have some kids out there that you're going to see playing, we're going to hear about playing on Saturdays, and some of these guys are saying maybe able to play on Sundays one day. So, you know, there is some real deal down there in Central.
And we have some coaches from various universities, or assistant coaches from various universities below us right now, watching this Edison football team, talking to some parents and veterans and some coaches and some VIPs of the Edison squad. So this is an Edison team that's garnering a lot of attention, and it's going to be interesting to watch and see how it unfolds over the next few weeks here in the Valley. But for the D1 teams, other than Liberty hanging on right now, we're in trouble. Here comes the kick, and it'll be taken at the 10-yard line. Frontier looking for some excitement, anything to get this crowd rolling here. And a gang tackle at about the 25-yard line. So with 3:13 left in this fourth quarter, it looks like Edison might be able to close this one out here on defense. Coach Cornford and his staff, as you said, Brian, did an excellent job. They win the league. They beat BHS at BHS on Bright House Networks. It was a huge win, big game for a lot of reasons. And some things went sideways internally, and tough lesson for these student athletes to learn.
Right.
And tough for the guys that are still out there trying to battle through this deal. But as you say, coaching staff won't even discuss it. It's all about who we've got with us now. And on a 1st and 10, a pass play out to Matt Bushnell and the effervescent and gregarious Justin Holmes. Pretty excited about his tackle out there.
Let's see. 6'2", 180, Vance. I'm going to tell you right now, he's a legitimate Division I prospect.
He's the one that made that great interception earlier in the game.
And he made a tackle earlier in the game. Remember, it was like a little quick hitter on Holmes where he had a chance to run, and he just shut him down right where he caught the ball. He's a legitimate player.
Looking down on him now, he looks wiry, but he's young. Thompson throws, and it's caught out there. Nice play, and he's still free, still loose, still on his feet, looking to get across field, and that, of course, is thin, and he's had a big night. Picked up a fumble and ran it back 50 yards a few minutes ago to get this crowd back into it.
Well, Vance, I'm going to tell you this right now. You talked about not giving up. Dan has had a huge game tonight, Vance, on both sides of the ball.
Nice. And then a junior. Caleb Thompson, a junior. Evan Moore, the starting quarterback, a junior.
And you talk about the safety, Vance, for Edison. You know, the last great safety they had is Tevin McDonald. And
best player on the field.
Yeah, he was.
Thompson floats one across the middle.
Oh, Cass stopped running on him, Vance. He stopped running.
So with 2:25, brings up 2nd and 10. There's no quit in this Frontier team. They are still trying to put some points on the scoreboard. I love it.
Again, we can't say enough superlative what Caleb Thompson has done in the second half, Vance. You know, to be a backup quarterback and not getting much, you know, reps throughout the week, he's done a great job so far this evening.
Strong right side, going to run across his body. He's in trouble. Stops, throws it, and lost his footing for a second. It was sent out there for Haupt. He just slipped up a little when he was throwing it. You know, you think about this coaching staff right now. They've got a junior out there that they're working with. They've got a lot of juniors on that team they're working with, and they're like, hey, listen, we've got exciting times ahead of us. Let's try to finish strong. We've got some seniors out there that are finishing their high school playing career, if you call it a career in high school, and they're wanting to finish strong as well. So with 2:21, 3rd and 10, they want to put that football in the end zone.
You know, and they really have played with the class that Coach Cornford exudes as a man. You know what I mean? Very gracious man, and just really, Vance, just coaches these kids up, and I like the way they play, and they have nothing to be ashamed of tonight.
3rd and 10, and the side judge calls a penalty, drops the flag, and thinks that it may be encroachment.
Yeah, it's got to be, because
it's the
I
big
see
boy.
the Edison Tigers hitting their own guy. Hey, come on, man.
Come on, man. And that is Sotis Garcia. He's 6'2", 280. Big fella. So a couple of good hard counts. 3rd and 5 now. Oh, some trickeration. And let's see what happens. Can they make something happen? Oh, they don't get the first down, but bodies are flying out there. And Matt Bushnell. And Bushnell shaken up on the play. So they try some misdirection out there and come up short. So it'll be 4th and 5. 4th and at least 5.
I thought they got at least a couple yards, but
So
I guess
did I.
they didn't, Vance.
With 3:21 to go in the top 7 of Fresno, it's Liberty leading Clovis 25-17.
So now Liberty's up 25-17 on Clovis. Liberty and Coach Mills.
Coach Coach Mills and Liberty, great job of keeping the Bakersfield team alive, Vance.
These guys are something else.
Well, the band is rocking over there, Vance.
Of course. Of course. All right, 4th and 4 on the 18-yard line. 2 minutes, 5 seconds. And now we see Justin Cash running out the sidelines. 4th and 4. Will this be the last offensive play of this season for the Frontier Titans?
Oh,
well,
wow.
Adam Houck busted off that line of scrimmage, and now I think it might be 4th and 9. Watch this. Here's Houck. See ya. Well, we also had the left tackle moved a little bit. So the left tackle moved, and hey.
Oh, they said he went over first.
And Coach Manning can't believe it. He's like, hey, their tight end took off running down the field, and the left tackle jumped. Are you kidding me? So Frontier. Coach Manning just screaming out orders right now for his Edison Tigers. 42-21 the score. Thompson, the quarterback. Hard counts it, nobody goes. Drops straight back, has good time, floats it out in the corner, and it is batted away out there. A nice defensive play by Carlos Tapatio.
Defended on the play by number 8, Tyron Smith.
Good defense, good position. Now, see, that's the play when you see at the higher levels, Vance, where they throw that ball right behind the corner, and the receiver just stops and grabs it on the outside.
In your upper left screen, you see number 18, the defensive player. It was Carlos Tapatia. Wow, this announcer's getting all these names. 2nd and 10. Screenplay, and the receiver was never even aware that it was coming, and the aforementioned Justin Holmes almost picked off another one. He thought he might get it, and that's unfortunate because the intended receiver never saw it coming.
And it really was right there, Vance. You know what I mean? It wasn't a bad pass if he was turning around looking for the ball.
There's a nice look at Coach Manning, the baseball cap. Done a nice job tonight. UCLA Bruin. 3rd and 10. Thompson puts it up, overthrows. That'll bring up 4th and 10. Brian tomorrow at high noon.
High noon.
Dun, 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 dun. That's the band. That's the fight song for the Trojans.
That is the fight song.
Are they going to stick the sword in the grass and start to play all that nonsense? Or will the Bruins say, no dice?
They said they weren't allowing them to do it. Let's see if they stick to it.
So, a lot of drama tomorrow in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl. Tradition, what a great game. We are going to leave early for Ventura tomorrow so we can get over to our pregame spot and catch the second half before we go call the BC Ventura game. We're getting on the road early tomorrow for that very reason. 4th and 10. Come on, Titans. Thompson drops back. No rush. Thompson sees his man and just overthrows it. Had a man wide open, and he just overthrew him. It was Jasmine Thin, and it would have been a touchdown, but that will do it for the Titans offense. With 1:45, they go off the field, and now the Edison Tigers will come out onto the grass and take care of the football, run this clock out, and look towards next week. Very quickly, let's go back to tomorrow's game. The USC Trojans were ranked number 1 coming into the season. Preseason favorites to win it all. They've had some struggles. Lost to Stanford, lost to Oregon. Just lost to Arizona State. We're talking about a Trojan team that is, out of the national picture, and a Bruins team with Coach Mora now that has really started to make some heads turn down in Los Angeles. And it's going to be a really, really good football game. Now that you're an announcer, and you've been an announcer over a decade now, I would like you to give me a very educated analysis of that game tomorrow. Not a heartfelt, emotional one.
Well, you know I don't do that anyway, Vance, when we talk about this game. This is probably the best chance the Bruins have had in a long time. They have a good running game. The SC defense isn't what it used to be in terms of the historically recently about being dominant. But the thing that concerns me is what SC does well is throw the ball, and they have two receivers that can run. Speedy receivers has caused a problem from the UCLA Bruins this year. And I'm not sure if they can match up and hang with those guys. And I think if that's the case, a shootout. But I'm looking forward to the game because the first time in a long time, I think it's a pick 'em. You know, because UCLA can run the ball, and that has not been the strength of USC defense.
It's going to be a great football game tomorrow. We'll be on the road. Hey, there's our director of The Godfather, Zachary Flores, blowing me a kiss. Right back at you, baby. There he is, Dave Farnes. He scales mountaintops in the Space Needle in Seattle. There's the back of the head of Zach, as if we didn't get enough of The Godfather. Very nice. Oh, yeah, look busy. Look busy. Touch a bunch of buttons, will you, Zach? And the Frontier crowd letting their seniors hear it as McGee goes down on one knee, and that's going to do it. The Edison Tigers will leave here with a victory, 42-21, and the Frontier crowd, what a class act, really letting their seniors hear it, cheering for them. We love them. And for Coach Cornford and his staff, what a valiant effort, and they'll finish their season at home. And for Brian Adams, the UCLA Bruin, for our director Zachary, Dave Farnes in the truck, Mark in his scissor lift, Bernie in the south scissor lift, Carlos Anguiano down on the grass. Once again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Dallas family. Mike, we love you, my man. And we know you're looking down on Kern County with a big smile and a warm felt feeling for all of us. Hey, everybody, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. May God bless you. Good night.